K80, Mikey T, Outforce, Tommy Fraser, and more guests still to be announced. Granite City Festival 2026, Hazelhead Park, Aberdeen. Tickets on sale now at granitecityfest.co.uk. Be part of it.
To change your life. A mind reset. Close your eyes. Let's begin with a deep breathing exercise. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And let's count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath gently. And now exhale slowly through your mouth. Let's do that again. Breathe in deeply. Hold it. 'You to think about you. Maybe you've had some caring responsibilities. You've helped a friend, or taken on some tasks that made a difference. Let all those stresses wash away as you continue to breathe. And as you do that, also think about how special that you are. Reflect on the good you've done this week. And think about how strong that you really are. When was the last time you truly acknowledged your own efforts? Take a moment to appreciate yourself. And now, as we prepare to end this minute, take one last deep breath in. Hold it.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday night. You're locked into Pure Dance Energy, and right now, you're exactly where you need to be. This is Hypnobeatz with me, DJ Paul Smith, and tonight, we move differently. This is episode 19, Flow Without Resistance. Now listen, this station is building something serious right now. Every week, guest DJs are dropping exclusive mixes, bringing fresh sounds, new energy, and moments you won't hear anywhere else. That's what makes this place special. And tonight, it's been set up properly. Big respect to GDRS for that progressive journey earlier, building the flow the right way, week after week. And to G-Force, the man behind the station, making all of this happen like magic. Now here's the shift. Tonight isn't about stopping. It's not forcing a reset. It's about moving forward, without resistance. No pressure, no overthinking, and no fighting the moment. Just rhythm, movement, and everything lining up exactly how it should. So wherever you are, turn it up, lock in. Let's go. The first track starts now.
see wouldn't find me through the haze. That I get less than all you need. They said that we weren't strong enough, foundation that was faulty. Now we stand on truth so holy. Even when their anger raged, even with their voices raised, we didn't shift or change. We took the path of faith. They could never see our love, taking all we could from us. If your heart is blind, you cannot be kind. I can see all the pieces come together. You are the faithful hand that holds my heart, and I will choose to be with you forever. Our love is entwined in the spirit of truth. We're in the spirit of truth. In the spirit of truth. We're in the spirit of truth. I can see all the pieces come together. You are the faithful hand that holds my heart, and I will choose to be with you forever. Our love is entwined in the spirit of truth. We're in the spirit of truth. In the spirit of truth.
You're listening to The Party Den with Paul Smith and the Hypnobeatz, bringing you the energy, the rhythm and the sound of the underground. Stay locked in.
Yeah, that's it. Straight into it. No hesitation. Just movement. That's how flow without resistance begins. Not forced, not pushed, just happening. Stay with that. The next track's coming in.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. And I'll be the one if you want me to. Anywhere I would have followed you. Oh. And say something, I'm giving up on you. Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. In any way I would have followed you. Say something, I'm giving up on you.
I've been thinking about this all week. Most people don't struggle because things are difficult. They struggle because they're resisting everything. Resisting time, resisting pressure, resisting themselves. But the moment you stop pushing against it, everything shifts. Things move cleaner. Decisions feel easier. And energy starts to work with you, not against you. That's what tonight is all about. Flow without resistance. Letting the rhythm take over where you don't need control. Stay with that. The next track's ready.
Lately I've been feeling the same. I've been losing hope, resisting the pain. It's cold outside, I wish it were clearer. Sometimes it's just easier to turn around and look in the mirror. Sometimes when I go to sleep, my life spins out in front of me like a hurricane, bottle of wine. Sometimes it's easier to let something else control your life. This is an anthem for the girl that got away. This is an anthem for the world of yesterday. This is an anthem for the rebel of my youth. This is an anthem for the risk of loving you. This is an anthem for the girl that got away. This is an anthem for the world of yesterday. This is an anthem for the rebel of my youth. This risk of loving you, the risk of loving you, the risk of loving you, the risk of loving you. This is an anthem for the world of yesterday. This is an anthem for the rebel of my youth. This is an anthem for the girl that got away. This is an anthem for the world of yesterday. This is an anthem for the rebel of my youth. This is an anthem for the risk of loving you, the risk of loving you.
Once upon a time I had a heart of gold, but after all these tears I feel like my heart is on hold. You left me standing here in the cold all alone, without giving me answers. I'll be facing the unknown. How will I ever love again? Can someone touch my heart again? Now that you've hurt me so bad, and now I am feeling down and cold within my heart and in my soul. Guess the only way is to never look back and never look back. I've got to be strong, and I won't look back. As long as I believe, and I don't look back. I've got to hold on, and never look back. Memories will fade, answers will come, 'cause I will never look back.
Now notice this. You didn't try to get here, but you are. More relaxed, more focused, more present. That's what happens when you stop forcing outcomes. And from here, we take it one level deeper. This is your moment. Not to stop, not to switch off. Just to settle into the flow. Take a breath in. Slow. Steady. And let it go. Again, take a breath in. And out. Now notice this. The music is still moving, but something inside you softens. That's it. You don't need to force calm. You just allow it. Your shoulders ease. Your breathing even out. Your thoughts begin to space out as the rhythm continues. Your mind follows it naturally. No effort, no resistance, just flow. Every beat carries you forward. Every layer smooths everything out. And without trying, you're more focused, more settled, more in control. That's the shift. When you stop resisting, everything works better. So from here on, let things come to you. Let the rhythm guide you. And stay right here. Inside flow without resistance. This is your reset. This is Hypnobeatz. When you change the rhythm, you change your life.
You're listening to The Party Den with Paul Smith and the Hypnobeatz, bringing you the energy, the rhythm and the sound of the underground. Stay locked in.
we're heading into the final part of tonight's journey. And if there's one thing to take with you for the rest of the week, it's this feeling. This flow without resistance. You didn't chase it. You didn't force it. You stepped into it. So let's finish tonight's show properly. The final track is starting now.
I was made to live this life, and live is what I've done. Found the wonder of the night, so hoping there was none. But I know the light could fade from my eyes, my plane could fall from the sky. The world could tell me this is my time. I count my blessings every day. I'm more than I deserve. Sing this song when I am gone. I'll be in every word. But I know the light could fade from my eyes, my plane could fall from the sky. The world could tell me this is my time. And if I should die here tonight, darling, know that you saved my life. Felt your love every day. Not a thing I would change, and I know you'll be okay. You saved my life. Felt your love every day. Not a thing I would change, and I know you'll be okay.
And just like that, that's the end of tonight's show. This has been episode 19, Flow Without Resistance. You didn't force it. You didn't chase it. You stepped into it. That's the shift. This station is building something real. New sounds, guest DJs, exclusive mixes, and you're part of it. I'm DJ Paul Smith. This is Hypnobeatz. When you change the rhythm, you change your life. And next Friday, we go again. Now it's time for G-Force.
Hi, I'm Eleanor, and this is your Pure Dance Energy Update. This May, one of Scotland's biggest dance events returns, Pavilion Festival 2026, Sunday the 3rd of May at Low Green Air. Get ready for a massive day of music featuring global legends Carl Cox, Sasha and John Digweed, alongside an incredible lineup including Anna Tur, Colin Patterson, John Mancini and Bob Jeffries. plus inside the Street Rave Wee Tent, Roger Sanchez, Alison Limerick, and more. Across multiple arenas including Rave Cave and Pavilion Arms, expect everything from house and techno to trance and old school anthems. This is more than a festival. This is a full day of pure energy, music, and unforgettable vibes. Tickets are on sale now at pavilionfestival.com, so don't miss out. Pavilion Festival 2026, Air, Sunday, May 3rd. I'll see you on the dance floor. Pure dance energy, where the music lives.
Saturday, 16th of May 2026. The Time Frequency return for one massive night in Glasgow. Live at the Riverside Museum with an unstoppable lineup of dance legends and iconic acts. TTF. Venga Boys, 2 Unlimited, DJ Sash, Lasgo, JX, N Trance, Fragma, George Bowie, Lang, Ian Vandal and Dee, The Space Brothers, Ultrabeat, Mickey Medell. One night, one arena, a full power dance experience like no other. Saturday, 16th of May 2026. Riverside Museum, Glasgow. Subject to licence, tickets on sale now. Be part of it.
It's a Friday night, Saturday morning, and you're live with Pure Dance Energy's The Party Den. This man doesn't really need an introduction, but I will. It's DJ Gary MC from GMC Records and the Makina legend that he is. DJ Gary MC, how are you doing?
How's things going? I'm good. How's
Good.
the party then?
It's every Friday night, Gary, it's getting busier and busier. It seems to be busy on TikTok and stuff like that as well. So how are you doing? How is things?
Things are good. Yeah. So I suppose I'm still in the kind of mix of work-life balance. Obviously, I got a wee one now, so it takes up most of my time. I still like a wee play around on Cubase. I'm starting to get a wee bit of a touch for wanting to kind of play out some stuff again. So it'd be nice to maybe we'll see what happens maybe in 2024. We'll see.
Right, well, there you go. That's a great introduction, Gary, because what I was going to say was, how are you, how's things, and what have you been doing? And you've just summed it up there. So you're caught up as a daddy these days, aren't you? But you still dabble in the old tunes and the music, and maybe next year could be an interesting year for you. So this is what it is, Gary. What we've done is we've sent you over a list of 10 questions, and we done a wee interview with DJ RS, and we done one we got DJ MC Gizzy G, and it's the kind of same format. So without further ado, I'll go into the questions. I'll drop them and we'll have a wee chat in between. Okay, so the first question I've got sitting here, Gary, is can you share with us a story of how you first get into the Makina dance scene and what drew you to it?
I think it probably goes back to my cousin, probably back in the early 90s, mid 90s, kind of introduced me a wee bit of kind of happy hardcore. And I'd say back then I was probably only about 6 or 7, do you know what I mean? So I remember it that far back, and I remember him doing the hand jive and dancing.
Right, okay.
And I always sort of had an interest in just music in general, whether that be through dancing or singing. You know, I like to think I could pick up pretty much any instrument and give it a bash. So I think going through there, I started to get involved in a wee bit of kind of like break dancing, hip hop, and through that, one of my tutors was a bit of a DJ, and obviously seeing him on a set of 1210s interested me more than spinning on my head. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a go. And it just so happens one of the local guys, Gary O'Connor, he's a DJ, he's been in the Scottish scene for a long time. At the time he came under a name called DJ Ronico. He was still on a set of decks, so I used to pick up a set of decks and a set of chunk of second-hand records, and I thought I was Tiesto. But within that bundle there was loads of happy hardcore, so I started doing a bit of collecting and just whatever I could get my hands on, and it wasn't just necessarily happy hardcore, but anything, trance, hard house, and I just started to kind of listen to things that were getting blasted about the old MSN and Yahoo at the time, to be honest with you.
Oh, there's a thing.
Live, and you used to...
Yeah,
you take over the chat, and you had...
Yeah, carry on, sorry, Gary.
You had the influx of the PC DJs. So you had people like Barry Weir, DJ Pulse, Zacchus,
Rankin.
There was loads of them, and obviously they've arose again with their kind of I Am a Raver scene thing, and you know it's taken off. And I suppose get back to that, you know, it was a start for a lot of people. PC DJing. That myself, I wasn't that great at it, to be honest with you. I think I was more interested in making my own stuff, and I wanted people to put all that kind of funky vocally stuff over the top of it. But I had a mess with I think it was some sort of mix software that came free with your PC or something like that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, do you know what? You're taking me back here. Right, okay, carry on.
And I also had, do you remember the game on PlayStation?
Loved it.
I remember that name.
Yeah, there was a wee cubes.
That as well. Aye, so, but I started to get more and more interested in the kind of faster scene, I think, more than anything. The stuff about 140, 150 just didn't do it for me. Do you know what I mean? I had to go that extra mile and hit that kind of 170, 175 BPM, and I found myself listening to a lot of things that were coming from the northeast of England. At the time I didn't know it was called Makina. I didn't know where it originated from, but there was MCs over the top of it, and you know, forgive me, I'm not the biggest bidda MC guy at the minute.
Yeah, I don't know. You've no been.
But
You've no been because I spoke to you about this a long time ago, and you says, I don't mind, but I'm not a big fan of them.
Aye. And I'll tell you why, Glenn, because when obviously that was my introduction to McKenna, and that's all I'd ever heard of it, so it was nice to hear that. But then obviously as you become an avid follower or a fan of a genre of music, you start to dig in deeper. Its origins, where did it come from? Who was the kind of producers out there still making it? Because obviously at the time I'm listening to it, it was 15, 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that I was curious to that fact. So I started to kind of listen to some more of the kind of newer stuff that was kicking around at the time, around about 2004, 2005. And that was without MCs, and that probably introduced me more into the original origins of it, being from like kind of Spain, Barcelona area, and how it kind of took off for there. But
yeah, it was yourself. It was yourself that taught me about the origins of the Spanish hardcore and stuff like that. And I was more into the UK bouncy stuff, but you taught me an awful lot about it as well. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Well, at that point in time, the scene was sort of flowing. Scott Brown was playing in places like Activa and XQ, and these were all, you know, Maquina nightclubs in Spain. They were in industrial states in the middle of Barcelona. You know, Scott, all your hardcore DJs probably played it. You know, there was a big mixed scene. It wasn't just that they played just Maquina. They played out some jump style, Gabba, hardstyle.
Yeah, and that's something that
all mixed into one.
Yeah, that was something that I enjoyed, Gary. Was the crossover and sharing the influences, because it was a really creative. See what you were saying about 2000. It was a really creative time with the producers, and they were all wanting a wee shot of the action, so they were making the tunes a bit like what's happening just now with this kind of Melbourne bounce sound and stuff like that. The DJs and the producers have just jumped on that just now. So yeah, I totally get that. If you don't mind, Gary, we'll move on to a question number 2, if that's all right with yourself.
That's fine.
Could you highlight some pivotal moments and experiences that you have shared in your career in the Maquina dance scene as a DJ?
You out to swear?
You carry on.
Probably absolutely shitting myself when I played the round room in our kiosk when I was 15.
15, Gary?
I don't know if many people ever know that I was 15 when I started DJing at this night called Dimensional, which I then became a resident DJ at with lots of great other guys. But I think I was supposed to be playing that wee warm-up set, and the guy that was running at the time, Davey, DJ Bucky, was like, "Oh, do you fancy going on? We've got these 2 MCs," and I'm like, shitting myself. Absolutely shitting myself. I think I'd played one or 2 nights in Betty's, which was next door. You know, and you know, we packed, it was full and stuff, and that was great. But to get to this round room and just look up and see people standing, you know, and they were everywhere, just masses of people.
Yeah, it was a crack nightclub. Yeah, an absolutely great nightclub.
In our kiosk, the decks were, you know, like, hung on what I'd call metal wires, and the desk that they sat on moved, but the place was jumping. And the needle kept skipping and stuff like that. You know, and this was back, and we still played vinyl. You know, there was Maquina, but you know, it took years before it actually emerged to become like MP3 available. You know, you couldn't just go to, you know, Juno or Beatport and just download Maquina. You know, it didn't exist.
No.
So everything was either vinyled it if you were lucky to have a CDJ, but everything was done in vinyl. I suppose that obviously been my kind of main step into it, and what I set I played, you know, it's still the best sets that's been recorded, and I listened to it quite a lot. I enjoy it, and it was with 2 MCs, Techno T and Jet, who are absolute legends in the North East scene.
I don't know if that was
what I call old school MCs.
I don't know if that was one of the sets that James had, because you were talking earlier on there about the PlayStation, see that wee bit of software. Well, believe it or not, that's how I get James' attention. James Dean, I'm talking about. I made a couple of tracks, and he was the boss of the radio at the time, and I sent these tracks down made off the PlayStation. He says, "Come down, have a wee chat." But aye, sorry, Gary, I taken you off your flow there.
No, that's all right. No. So, I suppose that's one.
about how you got records pressed. That would be interested, because you come from an idea of you've got the track in your studio. How do you overcome getting it from your studio into vinyl?
One of the biggest things I'm going to say is money. You don't have a lot of money. We don't get paid, and you know, I'm not going to slate the scene in Scotland, right? But it's extremely poor for paying its artists, right, across the board, right? And I'm not going to even make a lie about it. Hence why I will not play for nothing.
Absolutely.
You know, if you want my services, you know, and it's only now I really truly believe that, you know, you're going to pay me for my services. I'm going to bring a crowd. You know, I might not know, but back then I did. You know, and you know, and I think it's only the right thing you can do is make sure that you compensate somebody for their hard work. So when I think about when I started pressing the vinyl, I was fortunate enough. I had a residency. I didn't make great money for that residency. Eventually I did, but at the beginning we didn't. And anything that I had to pay out my own pocket. Everything was self-funded, and you know, and it wasn't just me. It was a joint effort between me and my friend Jose. When we started GMC Records, it was like the two of us will front some money up, and you know, we'll no take fit, and that's what I get back to. We'll no take fit, and you know, the stumbling block for that is you've got designs. You've got to make sure the mastering's right. These are the things I didn't understand. I just made tunes. I didn't understand that things had to be mastered to a certain level. You know, I didn't understand that the designs had to be perfect. That the wait times were unrealistic because these presses were getting done in China. Everything is done in China.
I didn't know that. Is that right?
So we used that. I think the company was called Mobineco. Sorry if I'm letting out everybody's secrets here, but we used that because it's one thing you'll find that a lot of labels won't do is tell other labels where they get their presses done.
Aye,
I'm not about that. I'm off for sharing, right? So I'll share with a company called Mobineco, and you had your own account manager and all that, and it was such a learning curve for me. And you got a test press back, and then you think, oh, I'm going to get the records in this date, and then they're extended, and then they get to customs, and you know, it's nothing but a sweat, and obviously you've fronted what I would have seen at the point in time, a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
And panicking that, are they going to sell? It's the biggest fear, and it's the biggest fear of anything. When you need a set, I'm not going to make a mistake because I can rectify it, and people will still enjoy my set. But when you've forked out money and time and sweat, and obviously you've got different artists as well, because it wasn't just my music that was on these releases, you know. So you had the promotional side, and bear in mind this was still vinyl. This was an MP3 where there was no SoundCloud, there was no Mixcloud.
Yeah. There
was MySpace. I suppose that's one of the biggest challenges that I think you can come when you start to do your own record label. And I never chose to do my own record label because I was going to get releases elsewhere. And that's, you know, at the time I'd done it, a few people were saying, "Oh, you're just pressing your own stuff," and I'm like, my stuff will sell. I wanted to do my own Scottish thing. I wanted to be different from what everybody else was doing. Do you know what I mean? And it was all about gain. I mean, if you look at a lot of my releases, even when we stopped doing the vinyl and we done the MP3s, I always took younger artists into the fold. You know what I mean? Whether it be, you know, British artists, Spanish. I mean, I was getting Spanish guys give me demos from my label because it worked. But beyond that, I think one of the biggest hurdles that you come up against is the writing block, and it's something that not a lot of producers will talk about.
I remember, Gary, you invited me into your studio, and I had in my head, I had all these great, wonderful ideas. I went to your studio, sat about, spoke cod shite all day long, and done absolutely nothing. And the thing was, I was going to say, look, Gary, I know the basics how to make a tune, but I don't know what I'm doing here. I should have just said that. I should have, but I didn't. I was loving that whole vibe that I'm in the studio with, you know.
I mean, I used to sit in that studio and I'd sit for hours, and I'd maybe open up one project and I'd do a wee bit of one, and then I'd go, right, I'm fed up with that, and I'll go to the next one. And I was all very much a project jumper. I wasn't one for just sitting at one project and finishing it.
Which can be a producer's downfall, can it?
Especially in the studio. I was much more comfortable laying it down in the studio but finishing it in the house.
Right.
I was the type of guy that, because I had obviously two setups, I had my studio in the house set up, and I would do what I would do, but I'd quite happily sit to 3 a.m. in the house and finish it. And I don't know if that was just a comfort thing, or I just didn't like to be in the studio and finish. When I finished, I was in the studio, and you know, but when you had that writer's block, it was difficult. It was really, really difficult to determine whether or not, you know, oh, come on, can I be bothered, or will I just go out the night, or will I sit and write a tune, or...
Yeah, and if you think of that now, it's bog standard. That's how tracks are written in bedrooms.
I know, and I think one of the biggest pressures, and I'll say this, and this is probably the biggest thing I went through, was when you have somebody that, you know, and I can't obviously name names for for producing for other artists, and not just in the Makina world, because I've done it for many an artist. And I know it goes back to everybody, the whole ghost producing thing. There comes a pressure with it. Funny enough, I probably write the best stuff for other people. Fucking pisses me off, because I would sit there. Maybe it's the fact that I know that I've already got the money. I don't know. But, no, and that's not true. That is not true, because I was working at.
No, you're dedicated.
Job,
absolutely, I know that.
You don't pay until you like it to an extent. So, writing music for other people was always something that I was really good at, and the writer's block just seemed to disappear overnight. And I would always kick myself, because some of these tunes were like bangers, and not just Makina, by the way. You know, I wrote things for a lot of artists that people hear daily. So I was kind of lucky enough to get through a period where that's all I did.
You don't need to tell me your secrets. I kind of know. But yeah, man, you're a hard worker.
Yeah. So, but that, as I say, that's the hurdle. The writer block's the hurdle, especially for a producer. And at that point, I was becoming less and less inclined about, you know, getting bookings and DJing, and, you know, I just wanted to make music. It didn't matter what the style of music was or the genre of music was. I just wanted to sit and make music. And I suppose that's where things got sort of calmed down a wee bit for me as well. Maybe that's where life started to get a wee bit more serious.
Well, but when it becomes fatherhood, that's when it all becomes serious. I know, because I was sitting having a chat to you a couple of weeks ago, and you must have been doing the same I was doing. I was scratching my head and thinking, how did we get here?
I know. I remember through the madness with partying every weekend to all of a sudden I'm sitting scrolling through TikTok, my eyes are shutting at 9 o'clock at night. What have we become?
You probably already mentioned Rude Boy, but can you tell us about artists and DJs that have influenced your style in the Makina genre?
Artists, certainly. I mean, there's people that, you know, I say Rude Boy, you've got people like Gerard Requena, again, another producer for Barcelona. Got to say people like Davey Forbes as well, because when you come from a local area, you know, a scheme like Sighthill, you know, you always look up to people like that. So certainly somebody like Davey is certainly high up there.
I know DJ RS will be sitting listening to this, and he'll be getting a wee notepad out, and he'll be like, tick next to Gary MC's name, a big tick. Well done, I like that. He's a big Davey Forbes fan.
Good. Aye. So, but it's, I'd say it had influences. I mean, there's certainly people like GD D'Agostino. You know, I'm very much into my Italian dance as well.
Yeah.
So as much as Makina, there's certain styles of music that just grown up to listening to. You know, there's loads of other people. I mean, there's a guy that I've been following for years called Savant. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. He's Eastern European. I think he's Swedish or Norwegian. I could be completely wrong, but he's got Asperger's autism.
Right, okay. Is it right? Okay.
Everything sounds like it comes from Nintendo mixed with dubstep, and I'm just like, I just sucker right in it. Every time he releases an album, I just buy it. I just can't help myself, and it's not even music that you would listen to daily.
Is that 32-bit 32-bit sound? Yeah.
So good at it. He's just so good at it, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I started listening to him for years. I mean, I suppose I had obviously I touched the kind of the house side.
That's right.
The hardbells and stuff like that. So, you know, there's a number of artists out there that I suppose that, you know, depending on the genre of music, you know, that have influenced me. Obviously, the biggest ones are the Scottish boys. You know, they're the ones that you grow up to, go into your school discos and listen to, Bob Browns, stuff like that. So,
I know.
They're always kind of high up there. I think they'll always be high up there for me.
Yeah, same as me as well.
I suppose the Spanish boys is what probably gave me the bug more than anything. No, I think getting into a foreign territory as a young Scottish boy, you know, and being accepted, you know, that's frightening. You know, can't even speak a word of Spanish.
We could have used your luck in Spain the other night there, so we could have. Maybe. You know, and the best laugh is, and Jose, I mean, I still speak to Jose daily, do you know what I mean? He's my brother, but he's torn between it, you know, he's like, because he spent so much time here. So anytime Scotland are playing, obviously, you know, the Rangers, you know, he's a sucker for it. You know what I mean? That's how he stuck right in. So that night, he posted that place,
girl that I want to be most. I'm the shell of a girl that I used to know well. Dancing slowly in an empty room, candle only take the place of you. I see myself a quiet lullaby. Let you go and let the lonely in. Dancing slowly in an empty room, candle only take the place of you. I see myself a quiet lullaby. Let you go and let the lonely in. Too afraid to go inside for the pain of one more loveless night. But the loneliness will stay with me and hold me till I fall asleep. A barely breathing story where there once was love. Now there's only me and the lonely dancing slowly in an empty room. Candle only take the place of you. I see myself a quiet lullaby. Let you go and let the lonely in. Dancing slowly in an empty room, candle only take the place of you. I see myself a quiet lullaby. Let you go and let the lonely in.
I'm gonna rush in here. I've just realised how long we've been doing here. So let me ask you, This one, I think you mentioned earlier on there, so we're more looking at 2024. But can you tell us about any upcoming projects or collaborations you're currently working on?
There's plenty of events and stuff like that kicking about.
There is. It's quite a busy scene just now. I'm noticing that myself.
I've done a gig last year for the first time. What was it this year? This year maybe. March for JPS. It was nice to play a wee McKenna gig, and Xavi BCN was over for Spain. So, gigs like that, I'm quite happy to pick up. I don't think I'll ever get back to gigging anywhere near what I did before. I'm good for the one-offs, I think, and the kind of comebacks. I mean, something I suppose I would always like to do is a kind of dimensional reunion, which was obviously the residency I had.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not a promoter. I'm useless at that sort of stuff. I need somebody else to do that for me, but whoever done that would want to have money winning, I think. If he's listening, David could probably do that, But musical wise, I mean, I've got projects there that I've not finished yet. That I always plan on finishing. I do have some new stuff that I've been working on that's not quite completed yet. I don't think I'll probably as much release music under any sort of label. I think that the way I'm feeling about my music at the moment, I'm quite happy to give it away for free. Want to make money for it. I just want to do it for my enjoyment.
Yeah, what I'm noticing is TikTok's a big place just now, and see for the wee 1 minute drops, a wee breakdown and stuff like that, and a wee quick video. People are loving that just now because it means they can make their tags, and that's a great wee promotional tool. Just a wee hint.
I know. Well, funny enough you say that. I did have a wee look through, and obviously because of stuff that I have released that is out there. I mean, I actually get royalties for.
Have you typed in the search bar?
Search myself.
Yes.
So,
brilliant.
It was very intriguing because I'd heard some of the other people's music. Another guy, PJ's music's been on it a few times.
Right.
That must go on this day. And boom, there you go. It's there. Obviously, because I've released stuff under all sort of different names, I'm trying to search all different, like GMC and Dynamic DJs, and I'm like, how's that not coming up? So it's certainly TikTok. It intrigues me a wee bit because I like the live factor. I like the live DJ stuff. I think I would probably something I'd like to probably pick up in the next year is maybe do a wee couple of live streams.
Right.
I'm up for that.
Well, there's you get because of TikTok you get this thing. What's it called? It's called the Creators Lab, and it's actually I don't know if you've used the software OBS, but it's very similar. But they don't let OBS link into that. They want you to use the own TikTok software because of the Chinese thing in that.
Right.
But it's actually a great platform. I don't know what their PRS is on that. But I prefer my Mixcloud because I know I pay my PRS and the music we play, the artists get paid, sort of thing. I think we're on the second last question. How do you see the future of McKenna dance evolving, and what role do you hope to play in that evolution?
I think probably when I listen to the sounds that are coming in for some of the producers, they're great. There's a starting point there. I wish there would be a wee bit more individuality, especially in the Scottish scene. I think we copy too much some of the other scenes that are kind of about the North East scene. I know there's anything wrong with it, but I just sort of wish that somebody would stamp a wee bit of kind of Scottishness to it. I think that's where I'm kind of going with that. So I'd like to see some more Scottish producers appear. I mean, I think there's a couple of guys in the background doing some stuff just now that I've heard some stuff here. I'm getting quite impressed with the production. So maybe nice to see something different come for them. We'll maybe see what comes of that. It's good that the guys, I would probably encourage some of the guys to do more collabing and stuff like that, and get out your comfort zone, and maybe going to some of the Spanish guys as well. They're always up for a bit of collabing. I mean, there's a new breed of Spanish producers as well now, that are slightly different. And before it was quite difficult, even when I started, they wanted you to have a following, and they wanted you to have this, and they wanted you to have that, and obviously I was quite fortunate in the position I was in with the people that I knew, but that opportunity, it would have been really, really difficult for me to get involved in.
I had this conversation with DJRS a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, back in the day where a guy was producing a tune, it was like a schoolboy, no letting you see the other person, see their work, miss, I'm going to... So it was very, very, I'm keeping all my secret ideas because I want to be famous with this sound. But nowadays I'm noticing there's a lot of producers, a lot of artists sharing, teaching others, and getting other people involved in what they're doing. It has to evolve like that. Yeah,
it's got to, because if you don't, then you're these producers are going to come up and they're just going to play you. They're just going to end up producing, like, so your trance, your Melbourne bouncer, they're going to go with what's popular.
Absolutely.
I know making it's popular. It's a niche market, and if you can actually involve yourself in it, you'll get a lot of joy with it. As long as these people want to share, I'm quite happy. I've had people approach me and say, "Gary, can you make me a sample bundle?" Fine. I give them a chunk of my samples. I've got nothing to hide with my samples. You can give everybody a sample bank if they're not very good at producing, and I don't mean this, in any way whatsoever down anybody, but the sample packs are not going to make a difference.
You're absolutely right.
A starter, and by the hope of me giving that person that starter pack, that's the start. Vocals are another one. A lot of people. I mean, I write loads of music, and I have done for years. Original vocals, and get people to sing them for me, and I wrote for other people, and they've got people to sing for them. It's a great way to do it. If you know a singer, now write something and record it. So even if you can't get somebody else to do it for you, sit with them, sit with people inside a studio, bedroom, professional, whatever it needs to be. But share your knowledge.
That's
because
it.
the more you share, the bigger this can become. I'm a great believer in that. Beforehand, I was probably one of the people I didn't want to share my stuff.
But I think that the digital revolution and social media has made it that you can be up front and people are willing to collaborate and share and give ideas. I was going to just touch on something. I was speaking to Gizzy a couple of weeks ago, and see, I was fascinated how Gizzy was doing his productions with Mark P. And I says, "Are you learning a lot?" And he says, "Glenn, I swear to God, you want to see what I've learned off of this guy. This guy is amazing because he's slowly taking me through every individual step." And that's what people need. They need producers to do that, share, because what are we all going to do? Get old and then start listening to the 80s because there's no modern music?
And that's just that. And there's, do you know what? Everything's becoming more and more available now.
Yeah.
I use Cubase, and listen, I pay for my Cubase. I don't have a cracked piece of software.
I know that, Gary.
My VSTs I pay for, right? But they cost me an absolute fortune. See, now you can subscribe. So if you want the new Cubase, now you can go to that Splice, I think, now, and you can subscribe and get the new Cubase.
Is that right?
So like 12 quid a month for something. Well, I remember forking out like 500-600 quid. So. I mean, the scene, the music production scene itself is realising that people can't afford to be paying 300, 400, 500 quid for a piece of software.
For a Kickstarter pack,
the VSTs, one of the biggest VSTs that everybody uses, probably Nexus or Silent. Silent, again, you can subscribe to that. You can, as long as you continue to pay for it. But at the end, those sort of models is what should be encouraged, because I mean, I'm a great believer that we should all use. Listen to the crack software. It was far too expensive. So how did they expect anybody, even some days for 14 that could never be able to?
Yeah.
So new platforms on the make more affordable. I would say they need to be cheap. I get these companies that get money to make and stuff like that, but they don't have a chance. These one-time sounds and the SG charge 400 quid, so I'm never going to use it. I'm not going to get my software version, and these companies don't make nothing. So I'm a believer that also needs to change in that set. They're the people that can control it, really. They can only use those that they provide.
I'm not mentioning the outdoor that I've been playing out, but they were talking about Spotify owns it. I'd signed up and had a wee go at their Pro Tools and stuff like that, and it's an absolute cracking online law. And I get weekly sample packs of stuff like that. I like listening and I made this about it as well. He was quite impressed, but we're no other reason for them, we're no team shout out.
Not at all. That's what I mean, as long as we can, if people can share things with each other.
Absolutely.
Especially within that scene, you get somebody that's interested and catch that something else. They'll go and make that rather than make it, whatever that is that they're into.
Yeah. Well, Gary, an absolute pleasure. I've got one more question to ask you, and this is where you start. This is where you on your Godfather jacket to give some advice. So what advice would you give to aspiring DJs and producers looking to make mark in the dance scene or anywhere else in the electronic music dance industry? What advice have you got for them?
Touched a wee bit in the last topic, sharing, that's a big one, I think, number one, sharing them, share your bad productions and your good productions. Don't take feedback too seriously, because, if everybody did anything I would, I'd probably make nothing. the community of a scene is quite a thing, regardless of what genre it is. Make sure that you understand what's going on in that scene, and make sure that you're no copying, trying to be a wee bit different, make the music you play a wee bit different, be extremely humble. I think there's times, even I can admit, when you had the residency at Dimensionals on Boy, and just maybe taking it for granted at times a wee bit, and you're thinking who's behind me and who's next to me and who's doing this and who's doing that, and you let that kind of fly away a wee bit, and you lose people through it as well. So it's important that you don't allow that to eat into you being an artist. Do you know what I mean? It's don't ignore the noise around about you, and if take everybody at face value, but do what's right for you also. That's really important. Don't let anybody, pull you down. But see you, believe in yourself, and see if you're good at what you do. Make sure you get paid for it. I'm a great believer. See now, and I'm totally up. Promoters, they need to be there and they need to make money for events and all the rest of it. Don't use young, good talent to sell your tickets.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but do not fall for that one. Don't play at their events. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Doesn't matter how big the night is or how great it can be for your career. Don't mind somebody else's pockets using your talent, because you know what, you might bring 30 people to that event. You're not seeing a penny in it.
Absolutely.
And the same 30 people turn up at the next one and the next one and the next one, and then until you say, look, you need to pay me for what I'm worth, especially if you want to do this full time. If this is something you really want to do passionately, I mean, I'm not saying it's about the money, but I just feel it's only fair that an artist is paid. It's hard enough these days. I think, looking back, I was lucky enough to make some really nice money for selling vinyl and stuff like that, because the profit margins were high and they were mine, and I controlled that, and that paid for equipment. I didn't just go and spend that on shoes or trainers. Everything was invested back into what I was doing.
That's something I remember. I remember you doing that all the time.
Relying on MP3 sales royalties, where I'm not even going to lie to you, unless you're going to make a big massive hit, you're not going to make a lot, right? I'll be totally honest with you. It is, if you're going to get into this thing, I'm Makina, DJ, producer, and I'm going to make thousands, you'll know.
No.
Right? And I'm not going to put a bad side in it. I mean, certainly through your productions and whatever you do further on in your career, you'll be great at it, and you probably could get a top 100 and beat Porter, push to beat it, and I'm all for everybody believing in themselves, but don't think about it just for the money. But try and expose yourself as much, use social media as much as possible positively. And there's one other thing I will say to everybody: we have a scene in the UK dancing scene that is also drunk and fueled, right? One of the things that I've learned through speaking to, I've done a chunk of work with a guy called Fri Cosgrove. Don't know if many people know me. I was on Celebrity Love Island with that years ago.
Yeah.
And he's part of a group called Futuristic Polar Bears, and I've done some stuff with Fran. And he's a great inspirational speaker and coach. And and one of the things he said is always remember the last impression you leave on somebody. Whether it be a person that comes up and says, "I know who you are," or a person that wants to book you, or other artists. Always remember the impression that you leave these people, because these people will be somebody you'll cross over again at some point, or it could be a career breaker down the line. Always get a good impression of yourself. So one of the things that I promised myself in the end up was that, I don't drink at events. I've never taken in drugs, but if I probably did, that was a point I let it go and stop. And I'm a great believer that scene that we all live in, it does come with a kind of
stigma,
picturesque view of people just being party animals and the rest of it, but that's far from the truth. But if that's one bit of advice I could give to young DJs and producers coming through, is just be mindful about who's on about you, and if you really want to have a good go at it, then be on your best behaviour, because these people do notice that. Management, big promoters, they take notes of these things, so it's important that you at least get a good image of yourself. And obviously that also portrays yourself on social media, so make sure that you're no squeaky clean. Nobody's ever squeaky clean, but just make sure that you get a good representation of yourself and your music.
The best version, absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself, Gary.
Okay.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Friday night, Saturday morning on its way, Gary. I would like to thank you once again for your time.
Thank you very much for inviting me on.
No problem at all, mate. So thank you very much once again, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Gary MC.